In today's video, I'm gonna break down step by step on how to properly visualize as an athlete, all backed by science, of course. And according to science, research shows that visualization can improve your performance just as much as physical practice by up to 23%. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you my 6-step framework on how to properly visualize as an athlete. And by the end of today's video, not only are you gonna know how to visualize properly, but you're also gonna know how to utilize it to increase your performance and just your overall success. But before we get into that, I have to explain why visualization works in the first place. Visualization works because it programs the subconscious, the part of your mind that runs almost everything that you do. So when you visualize, it gets programmed into your subconscious. And the subconscious essentially, like I said, runs everything that you do. And I'm going to explain how and why. The subconscious controls 95% of your life. Neuroscience shows that around 95% of your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions are driven by the subconscious mind. Not just in games, but in how you walk, talk, or even drive. Think about driving. At first, you had to consciously think through every move, but now it runs on autopilot. That's how your subconscious works. And in competition, you perform from whatever's been programmed into it. I want you to think of your subconscious mind as the software in the background that is essentially just running your whole life. Most of the things that we do are just unconscious. Like, for example, like when we're eating, you don't think about, all right, I have to lift the fork up this much using this much weight, and now I have to put it into my mouth. Pause. Okay, you don't think about that. And like when we're eating, we can also talk on the phone and we can also watch TikTok and talk to somebody else at the same time. All right, our subconscious mind allows us to do that because most of those things in particular are just unconscious. And correlating to this to the game, it's important because when we're in a game, the pressure's on and the lights are the brightest. So our subconscious mind will default to whatever's been programmed into it, and we will perform from that. Okay, and I'm gonna explain how. That's how the subconscious drives performance. In competition, you don't have time to consciously think through every move. The game is too fast. That's why your subconscious takes over, running the programs you've installed. If your subconscious is filled with hesitation, that's how you'll play. But if it's filled with rehearsed confidence and success, your body performs from that script automatically. So, if you have an unconfident program into your subconscious mind, when you go into the game, that's how you're going to play, unconfident. And this is what it looks like. You're going to go into the game unconfident, right? Then you'll have thoughts that reflect unconfidence, like, I'm not good enough, they're better than me, whatever it is. And then your actions will reflect that also. So you'll start to hesitate, you won't execute properly, and then you'll just end up playing like shit. And vice versa, if you have a success program, if you have a confident program, you're going to go into the game confident, then you're going to play confident, and then you're going to just overall just end up with confident results. You guys get what I'm saying? That's how the subconscious drives your performance. Now, next thing, when it comes to visualization, visualization stores these visualizations like memory. When you imagine vividly, the brain fires as if it already happened, and the subconscious locks it in as a past experience. That matters because the subconscious only knows how to act from what's stored in it. The more you give it memories of confidence and success, the more naturally it performs that way in the game. Okay, so your subconscious mind, it doesn't really care about what's good and what's bad. It just takes whatever you give it. Hence why you're able to have a success program and an unconfident program. It really doesn't care, right? And the same way it doesn't know the difference between good and bad, it also doesn't know the difference between what's going on yesterday or what's going on tomorrow. It has no conceptualization of time, essentially. Okay, so we can use this to our advantage. So when we visualize, if we can visualize something so good, it can become a memory, essentially. Because like I said, your subconscious mind doesn't have a conceptualization of time. So it thinks that if you visualize it so good, it thinks it already experienced that particular thing. And if you experience it so good, it gets programmed into your subconscious mind. And therefore, you can perform from that or from that visualization rather than a visualization of unconfidence or a program of unconfidence, I should say. You guys following me? Like, how many athletes have you heard talk about visualization and use it into their routine? And they always say, like, I've rehearsed this shot in my head a million times, or I've already seen myself lifting up that trophy, and it just felt normal to them because they visualized that particular moment so much where it just felt like they already been there before, right? And to their subconscious mind, technically they have because it feels like a memory. You guys following me? Now, With that being said, now that you guys understand the foundation, now I'm going to teach you guys how to visualize. Now I'm going to give you my 6-step framework on how to properly visualize, because most of you aren't doing it properly, or most of you just don't even know how to do it in general. And honestly, I have to give credit where it's due. Most of this visualization, or the steps I should say, comes from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a neuroscientist. Okay, he helps people with visualization amongst many other things, and he's helped over 10,000 plus 100,000 plus people with this. Okay, so I use his method, but I tweaked it in a couple ways to where it caters more to athletes, and I simplified it so it's not as super complicated as he makes it. Okay, but with that being said, let's get right into it. Now, this is step 1. Set the intention. Decide what you want to visualize, whether it's playing calm, executing a move, or feeling locked in. Intention gives the mind a target so that when you relax, your focus has direction instead of drifting. You have to set the intention before you visualize, because if you don't, like I said, your mind will start to drift. It's like going into a restaurant, or the waitress comes to you and you not knowing what to order yet. You have to already look at the menu and decide and have an intention of what you want. And it's the same thing with your visualization, okay? So, firstly, you have to choose your thoughts. Decide what specific thoughts you want to align with. So just ask yourself, how would the ideal version of me think? Like, for example, I play my best in the highest pressure moments. All right. And it has to be specific. You can't just say, like, I'm confident, because you can be confident doing anything. You can be confident talking to women. You can be confident cooking. Like, it's just so vague. Okay. So you have to be as specific as possible and correlate it as much as you possibly can to the game. Now, after that, I want you to choose the emotion. Define exactly what emotion you want to embody. So, how does your ideal version of yourself feel? Do they feel calm? Do they feel confident? Do they feel prideful? I want you to really look inward, go inward, and really think, like, how do I want to feel? Right? Because emotion is also so important. Thoughts and actions go together. Without no thought, there is no emotion. Without no emotion, there is no thought. Okay? Those two go together. It's literally impossible. Okay? Now, next thing, I need you to choose the action. What action aligns with the thought and emotion written down? All right? So is it you catching a touchdown pass? Is it you hitting a game-winning shot? Whatever that is, whatever action aligns with these two things, okay? And I want you to write every single one of these things down, because we're going to be using this later on for our visualization. This will essentially shape our visualization, okay? Write that down. And I'll also hope you've been taking notes, all right? And if you've been taking notes, leave them down in the comments, all right? Now, next step. This is a really important step, by the way. Relax. Relax. When the mind slows down, you enter the alpha theta brainwave state, the gateway to the subconscious. You must relax the mind before you visualize, or it will not work due to the fact that you can only access the subconscious when you're in a relaxed state. Listen, this step is so important, really important. I would say this is the second most important step after step 5. After I explain step 5, you'll understand why. That's because if you try to visualize without being relaxed first, it's like trying to walk into a door that's closed. Or it's like trying to mold metal when it's still cold. You have to heat the metal up first and put high pressure on it to mold it how you want. And then the same with the visualization. You have to get relaxed first, because when you relax, you open that door. You open that gateway to the subconscious mind. Okay? And honestly, that's probably one of the biggest common mistakes this is a brainwave chart, by the way. But one of the common mistakes when people try to visualize is they try to visualize in beta, essentially when you're not relaxed. You're in a state of alertness, concentration, and thinking. Essentially, the state that you're in watching this video right now, and the state that we're mostly in throughout the day. Like, we're just thinking all the time. So you have to slow your brain waves down to alpha and theta. Okay, this does with meditation, creativity, relaxation, visualization, trance, and dreaming. Okay, you have to get into this brainwave state, because if getting into this alpha theta brainwave state will open that gateway to the subconscious, and it will allow your visualization to imprint your subconscious mind so you can perform from it. Okay? Think of it just like I said, just trying to walk into a door that's closed. All right? Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, like, how do I get relaxed? Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. But the way you get relaxed is meditation, is learning how to meditate. Okay, it's so important. And if you've never meditated before, there's a million different methods, a million different techniques out there. I can't give you one specifically because of how extremely subjective it is. Like, I can give you a method, but it may work for half of you and it may not work for the other half. Okay. So I just recommend you trying out different methods, trying out different techniques, and just finding out what works for you. Okay. And just like I said, just keep trying stuff. And for those who have meditated before or do meditate, keep doing what you're doing. The method and the technique essentially doesn't matter. All that matters is getting into this relaxed state. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And speaking specifically again to those who've never meditated before or don't do it that often, listen, it's going to be hard at first. I'm not even going to lie to you, okay? Especially in the world that we live in. We live in just the world of just overstimulation and just there's just so much going on. We never actually take the time to just sit down and just be still, right? And so when you actually try to sit down and relax and be still with your own thoughts, it's gonna feel crazy. Okay, it's gonna be like a million thoughts and then just a million things coming in and out your head. It's gonna feel like that one SpongeBob episode. You know, the one where he forgot the guy's name and in his mind there's just a bunch of just chaos going around. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you know, you know. Yeah, all right. It's just gonna feel like that. Okay. But just like any other muscle, just like any other skill that you learn, the more that you do it, the better that you're gonna get. The more you meditate, the more relaxed you're gonna be, and the faster you'll get to that relaxation point. Okay? And essentially, you'll know when you're relaxed. You'll know when you're in this alpha theta brainwave state is when your mind is conscious, but your body feels heavy. You're like on the borderline of going to sleep and being awake. Like you'll know. You'll know when you get there. Okay. And once you get there, now it's time to have some fun. Now it's time to get into step 3. Now it's time to rehearse a specific scene. Now it's time to visualize. Don't just run random highlight plays. Instead, rehearse a specific scene that perfectly matches the intention you set before relaxing. Picture precisely how you're thinking, acting, and feeling in that moment. The more aligned your vivid visualization is with your chosen intention, the more readily your subconscious accepts it as reality. Okay, so I need you to take the things that you wrote down in step 1, your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings, and I'll need you to build a scene around that. Okay, so for example, let's say I wrote down I play my best in higher pressure moments, and my action I wrote down is me hitting a game-winning shot, and my feeling is happiness. Okay, so now I'm gonna help build a scene. How do you move and execute in the scene? So I see myself catching a basketball, right? And then shooting it and then seeing it hit the net and the buzzer go off. That's my scene, okay? Now, that's very brief, or not brief, I say vague, right? Because you have to add sensory detail. What sensory details can you use? I need you to implement as much sensory detail as much as you possibly can. Because the more sensory detail that you add, the more your subconscious mind will believe it. And the more it believes you're experiencing that particular thing. Because like I said, it doesn't know the difference between then and now and in the future. Okay, so it's experiencing it right now, or thinks it's experiencing it right now. Okay, so for example, I see myself in a blue jersey. Okay, I feel the sweat going down my arm. All right, I feel the basketball, I feel the grip of the basketball in my hand and feeling it leave my hand and then seeing it, the swish, all right, and then hearing the buzzer go off. You have to be very specific, okay? The more detail you add, the more your subconscious mind is going to believe it, and the more it will imprint into your mind. Okay, now, after you create a scene, and after you act out that scene in your head, I need you to do this. I need you to affirm the thought. After completing the scene, affirm the exact thought you wrote down in your intention. Speaking it out or repeating it internally signals to your subconscious, this isn't just imagination, this is my reality now. Affirmation locks the visualization in place, strengthens the new belief, and ensures the subconscious to act from it moving forward. Okay? Now, this is important. You have to affirm that thought that you wrote down in your intention. Because essentially, what the thought does is it essentially anchors your visualization. You get what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you don't get thoughts, emotions, and actions just separately. You get that all at once. Like they don't go, they're inseparable. Like for example, if I'm hungry, I have the thought that I'm hungry. So my action is I get up and go make some food, and then I eat some food, and then the emotion from that is satisfaction and happiness. You get what I'm saying? So you have to attach a thought to your visualization, so your subconscious mind can also believe it and essentially anchors that visualization, so it feels more real. So, and I need you to either like just speak it out. You can either speak it out loud or you can internally reinforce it. Just say it in your head. Okay. And this signals the subconscious. It tells your mind this visualized reality is now your truth. And then also it locks it in like an anchor, solidifies the visualization and new belief within your subconscious. Okay. So for me, I would make that shot, hear the buzzer go off, and I would tell myself, I play my best in the higher pressure moments. That's what I would do. Okay. Now, step 5. This is the most important step. This is the absolute most important step, okay? I need you to extract the emotion because the subconscious speaks in emotion. That's why one traumatic moment can stick with you for your life. It imprints instantly. When you add emotion to your visualization, confidence, calm, certainty, the brain encodes it as if it already happened, like a memory you've lived before. Oh my, I cannot stress this enough. This is, like I said, the most important step because emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. If you visualize and do everything up until this point without attaching emotion to it, you're wasting your time because you're not speaking the subconscious language, which is emotion. It's like trying to speak Chinese to a guy who speaks Spanish. You know, he's not going to understand you. Your subconscious mind isn't going to understand you if you don't involve emotion. Because like I said, all it takes is one traumatic moment to essentially imprint your subconscious mind. Like for example, let's say your first girlfriend, right? She cheated on you, right? And obviously that involves a heartbreak. That fucks you up. It's highly traumatic, right? And then now that imprints your mind, and now moving forward, you think, acting, and feeling a way where women ain't shit and all women are gonna cheat on me. You know what I'm saying? So after you visualize the scene and you affirm that thought, I need you to extract the emotion. Like, how are you gonna feel? You already wrote it down, honestly. So I need you to extract that. So after you affirm that thought, I need you to think like you just feel it in your heart, that emotion of confidence, that emotion of calm, happiness, whatever that is, and really feel it. Feel it as much as you possibly can. Extract as much emotion as you can so it can stick into your subconscious mind. This is the second anchor. The thought and the emotion is the second anchor. I mean, it is what anchors the visualization. Okay? Because if you visualize without thinking or extracting emotion, you're wasting your time. And it's just gonna go in the air. It's just go along with the wind, essentially. Okay? Now, step 6. I need you to loop it. Play the scene over and over again until your subconscious gets tired. The subconscious doesn't like strain. So once you've repeated the same scene enough times, it eventually surrenders and accepts it as truth. That's when the visualization feels so real. Your brain recalls it like it's a past experience. So I need you to basically take everything that we did in steps, well, really 2 through 5. I didn't mean the right one. 2 through 5 and loop it as much as you possibly can. So getting relaxed. No, maybe steps 3 through 5. No, rehearsing that scene, then affirming the thought, and then extracting in the emotion. I need you to loop that over and over and over again, okay? As much as you possibly can until your subconscious gets tired. And what that seems like, or what that feels like, I should say, is it feels like you're forcing it. Like, once you feel like you have to force it, just stop. Just stop, because your subconscious doesn't like strain. Just like how you can do too little, you can also do too much, all right? You don't want to put too much on your subconscious mind like that. Okay? And that's the last step. But just to summarize, I'm going to break it all down, okay? So first, I need you to start with your intention. Define your clear objective before you begin. Write down your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings on how it essentially is going to shape your visualization, okay? And I need you to get relaxed. Enter a calm state to access your subconscious. Before you visualize, get into that alpha theta brainwave state, because if not, it's not going to work. Okay, so get relaxed. Now, after you're relaxed, I need you to rehearse that specific scene. Visualize a specific scenario with sensory details. So this is the fun part. This is the easy part, to be honest. So just create a scene of you doing a particular thing, like hitting a game-winning shot or you catching a touchdown pass, just something, right? And rehearse that scene. Now, at the end of that scene, I need you to affirm yourself. Reinforce that belief at the end. So whatever you wrote down in step 1, that's thought. I need you, after your scene is over, after you make that shot or do whatever, affirm that thought. Tell yourself that either verbally, like out loud, or internally. It really doesn't matter. It's the same. After you tell yourself that thought, this is the most important step, okay? I will not stress this enough. Extract the emotion. Feel the desired emotions as if already happened, okay? How are you going to feel when you make that shot? Because you have to understand, you don't necessarily want a particular thing. You just want how it's going to make you feel. Like if you hitting that game-winning shot didn't make you feel anything, you wouldn't care about it. But in this case, you do care about it. So how would you feel if you hit that game-winning shot, right? And extract as much of it as you can. The more emotion you extract, the more your subconscious mind is gonna believe it. Okay, because that's its language. And I use you to loop this until your mind feels strained. Loop steps 3 through 5. Keep going, keep doing it, and keep doing it until you feel like you're forcing it, and then stop. And I essentially want you to do this routine every single morning or every single night. And that's because your brain in the morning, like 30 minutes right after you wake up or 30 minutes right before you go to bed, your mind is already naturally in that alpha theta brainwave state. Okay? So it's going to be easier to get into that relaxed state rather than if you do it in the middle of the day, like 1, 2 o'clock, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to, because your mind is in beta, right? So if you try to close your eyes and relax, you're just going to be thinking of what you got to do later, IG baddies, TikTok sounds. It's going to be harder, okay? Compared to doing it in the morning or at night, all right? So, like I said, do it every morning and do it every night, every single day. And at this point, you're probably wondering, like, how is this visualization actually going to go into real life? How is it actually going to affect my performance? Don't worry, I'm going to give it to you. And this is how. Okay, so if you've been visualizing enough, visualizing every day properly how I've been telling you to do it, it's going to get embedded into your subconscious mind. And you'll know because you'll be thinking, acting, and feeling as if that particular thing has already happened. Like, you'll just know. Okay? So when you walk into the game, if you walk into the game with the program of success programmed into your subconscious, intuitively, you'll be compelled to do something through your intuition. Okay? And then you'll have a mental nudge to do a certain thing. Okay? So what that sounds like or looks like is, oh, I should go pass the ball to this person. Oh, I should go stand right here. I should run this way. All right. Then you actually take action on that particular thing. And then that you taking that action will lead to reality. Right? So more practically put, let's say I programmed, let's go with the game-winning shot example. So let's say I programmed myself for success in clutch moments, right? Intuitively, I feel in my gut like, fuck, like I got to do something, right? And then I'll be mentally nudged to go run this way and to go stand on the left wing corner, right? And then next thing you know, I'm just catching a ball and then I'm hitting that shot that I hit in my head. I take action and then it becomes a reality. You guys following me? You guys starting to understand it? And by the way, this will all be like within a span of a few seconds. All right? Because it's just quick. You guys have ever been in a flow state? This is essentially what this is. Like, you're not going to be thinking anymore. You're just going to be doing. You'll just know what to do and just where to be. Like, it just, I don't know. It just feel like otherworldly, to be honest. Like the ultimate flow state. And when athletes, like professional athletes, for example, do extremely good and you just know like they're just in the zone, this is just what they're experiencing. Like Kobe, for example. You think Kobe was thinking when he dropped 81 fucking points? No, he was just out there. He just knew what to do and where to be and he just did it. You get what I'm saying? His mind was out the way. He was just letting himself play because Kobe's low-key a psych, like crazy. So, he programmed himself for success, right? And that's what it essentially led to. It's just him being successful. You guys following me? And I'm telling you, if you do this properly, this is what's going to happen. And this is actually the same method that I use in my online coaching program, my one-to-one coaching program for my high-level athletes. So if you felt like you struggle with this, click the link in the description below. Or if you're just a high-level athlete in general that struggles with performance anxiety, click the link also. That's who I mostly coach, okay? And if you guys enjoyed this video, watch another one of my videos, all right? And if you took notes, put them in the comments. And if you guys have any other suggestions, also put that in the comments, all right? I'll see you guys in the next one.